It was my first day in the Army. I checked into my unit, I got my room number, and I was walking down the hallway, and some guy sticks his head out the door and says, "Hey, new guy, where are you from?" I said, "Florida." He says, "Where at?" I said, "St. Petersburg." He's like, "Oh, I'm from Tampa. Come to the bar tonight and I'll buy you a beer." I was pretty excited. I'm the new guy. So I waited till it got dark and went to the bar. And I look in the bar and I see him sitting at a table with like 6 people. A girl wearing a Tampa Bay Lightning jersey. I assume that's his girlfriend. And he waves me over, and I go sit next to him. And we're talking, and he leans in close to me and says, "Hey, you're the new guy, you should go buy some beer." I didn't mind, I just got out of basic training. I had a pocket full of money. So I went up to the bar, I said, "Hey bartender, let me get a pitcher." But then I remembered I had a pocket full of money. I said, "You know what? Give me 2 pitchers." And I grabbed my pitchers and I walk back to the table and I see somebody sitting in my chair. And so I walk to the table and I put my pitchers down and I tap him on the shoulder. I say, "Hey, I'm Private Mathis." And he looked up at me and he says, "I'm Hinkle." I said, "Well, that's my chair." And he just keeps talking. So I assume he's just going to finish what he's saying and get out of my chair. And he does. He finishes what he's saying, but he stays in my chair, and then he takes a pitcher and pours the beer. And I tap him again. I said, "Hey, Hinkle, that's my chair." He says, "You want to fight about it?" I said, "Yeah. I want my chair back. If that's how I get my chair back." I didn't want to fight about it. He was a big guy, but my pride was going to make me fight. He says, "Well, meet me outside." I said, "All right." Pump myself up, walk to the door, push it open, walk around the side of the bar. There's a garbage corral back there. I walk to the garbage corral, and I'm waiting for Hinkle. Getting loosened up. I see Hinkle come out of the bar. He walks around, and he's big. He's like 6'2", and he's stepping, and every time he steps, I vibrate a little bit. And so I search my internal database for some sweet offensive maneuvers, and there's nothing in there. I didn't know my brother. All that's in there is different variations of the fetal position. The standing fetal position, "Stop hitting me." The crouching fetal position, "I'm gonna tell Mom." And my favorite, the laying fetal position. This is where I get to go to my happy place. And then, up in the corner, I see 5th grade Taekwondo white belt. I know Taekwondo. So I put on my Taekwondo white belt, Hinkle steps up and I, wha-pow! Straight front kick right to his chest. And the movie that was attached to this file showed me kicking Hinkle and Hinkle flying back. Like it's a kung fu movie. I kick Hinkle and I fly back. Because I just kicked an inanimate object. And I look at Hinkle and he does this. Wiping the footprint off of his shirt, he says, "If that's all you got, I'm gonna F you up." So I go to my standing fetal position, waiting for the imminent doom, and then I see the contents of the table I was sitting at come fluttering out of the bar. And I say, "Oh wait, I have a chance here. He's gonna feel my fist of fury." And I start pummeling Hinkle, bam, 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 uppercut. Everything I got. And I look at Hinkle and he's like a big giant baby just batting my punches away. Stop hitting me. But just in time, Danny Wynn steps in and says, "Break it up, you guys. We're on the same team here. We fight Marines, we don't fight ourselves." And let's just go back in and get a beer. And I said, "All right." But before that, he raises my hand and he says, "This is how Florida boys are. We don't care." I'm like, "Yeah, this is how we are." And everybody walks in and I fall in behind him. And Hinkle falls in right next to me and he puts his arm around me and he says, "You got balls." And he tightens his arm up. And he says, but you know I would have effed you up. And I grab his arm and I say, oh, I know. But he lets me go. He says, I'll buy you a beer. And we go into the bar. He buys me a beer, and then he sits in my chair again. So I'm standing at this table. So the moral of the story is, if you ever go to a bar and somebody sits in your chair, just buy them a beer and have a really good night. Contest Master.